We just got back from walking the floors of Money 2020, and we're breaking down what the best booths got right.
You're gonna learn what separates the forgettable booth from the unforgettable showstoppers at the world's biggest fintech conference.
Welcome to our channel. If you don't know us, I'm DJ.
And I'm Tracey.
And this is Down to Fintech. The moment we stepped into the Money 2020 conference hall, we were hit by that conference energy. A blur of dazzling lights, bold signage, and branded swag everywhere. As we wound our way past booth after booth, something else became very clear. With hundreds of startups, companies, and sponsors all showcasing new ideas at once, it was hard to focus or even to get to every booth.
In a digital world where most business happens online or on-chain, 11,000 people were dropped into a mall of booths. But here's the thing, these conferences, they really matter. Money 2020 is where the entire fintech ecosystem converges. For fintech companies, a successful conference presence can mean furthering relationships. Furthering that pipeline, partnerships, advocates, and momentum that carries through the entire year.
And that's exactly why this frustration is so costly. When a booth gets lost in the noise, it's not just wasting marketing spend. It's a missed opportunity to connect with the exact people who can transform your business. In this video, we're dropping the top 10 that made attendees stop their tracks, drop their guards, and turn awkward glances into real engagement.
Number 10, IPQS. Mary's hands will likely make you forget you're at a fintech conference. We'll get to that in a second. IPQS is probably what you wouldn't expect to make the top 10. IPQS was smaller, minimal, didn't have prime real estate. They didn't have the flashiest setup, but these bright red lights against the black was really sharp, and it just caught our eyes against the contrast of all the other, more fintech colors.
But to really bring a unique experience, they had a masseuse named Mary giving free back massages. Most fintech booths are all screens and specs, but IPQS tapped into something primal, the need to feel taken care of.
This is something that would also work at a smaller conference, and it worked here. She made that emotional connection, and it definitely brought some lightness to the booth. It's like, you come here and you're gonna relax. They got your back. And that massage, it was proof of concept for their brand promise in human form.
Number 9, Hootsuite. Not Hooters, but still work. Hootsuite brought a 1950s diner theme to a fintech conference, starring their soda fountain. They had red pinstripe diner vibes, red stools, and the fountain sodas with names like the Compliance Cola, the Reputation Root Beer, and under each soda, there were icebreaker questions designed to spark conversations about Hootsuite's different value propositions. Hootsuite new attendees are looking for any excuse to have a fun conversation instead of, let me tell you why you need our solution or what our product is.
By disguising their pitch as a game, pick a soda, answer a question, they made learning about their company feel like play, not work. And quenching your thirst, Hootsuite didn't just serve sodas, they served up conversations and curiosity. That's how you win attention in a crowded hall.
Number 8, D-Local. Makes global sound local somehow. Walk up to this booth and you immediately feel like you've stepped into an Apple store or an AT&T location. It was clean, professional, inviting. Everyone's wearing matching navy vests. There's popcorn and a cafe set up. They had a lounge area where you can actually sit down and have a real conversation.
D-Local understood that events like this can be kind of overwhelming and people crave calm. We also crave popcorn. I'm a big popcorn fan, so popcorn will win me over. The blue and white and the natural wood color scheme, it's trendy, it's intentional, it says you're safe here, we're professional, we're not gonna ambush you. And the messaging, unlock the power of emerging markets. Go global with local payments in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. One sentence, one clear value prop. By combining this retail experience with a clear message and a lounge to actually breathe, D-Local made people want to stay. And that's the booth equivalent of great customer experience.
Definitely. Number 7, Encode. You got 99 problems and a triangular space ain't one. So Encode had 6 different stations, each representing a different product pillar that they had recently launched. Not an all-in-one booth, 6 specific solutions, 6 different stations. Each station had crystal clear messaging like block deepfakes with over 99% accuracy, enable agent-driven transactions with a trusted identity layer, streamlined, compliant, and secure business onboarding for over 190 countries.
And that's what was brilliant. When you walked up to a station, Encode instantly knew something about you. They could see what problem caught your attention. And by breaking that booth into 6 stations, which is risky when you have 6 different ideas or solutions, it forced the attendees to self-select. You walked in, picked the station you cared about, and it actually worked. And immediately, Encode had valuable intel about your pain point. And they did this in this triangular booth. I actually didn't even realize that until you said it. And they turned this into an advantage. Screens on both sides of each station made it visible from multiple different angles. And then it pulled people in from every angle, and it made it kind of easy to kind of like swoop in and not feel like you're just walking up to these people standing like right at you. And this shows that you can still stay polished and professional and techie and still stand out. Really well done.
Yeah, agree. Number 6, full story. Roulette tables work in Vegas and fintech. What happens in Vegas actually shouldn't stay in Vegas, especially when it comes to booth design that nails your brand promise. Full Story didn't just slap a roulette table and call it a day. Yes, it was a great initial attraction, but the whole booth was designed around their core message, helping companies turn frustration into delight through behavioral data. They had colorful emoji reaction faces on the carpet, stuffed toys showing the emotional spectrum from frustrated to delighted. They had plants and greenery done really well, like not overdone at all. And of course, a live demo showing their product in action.
Full Story understood a critical insight. Their product is about these emotional states: frustration, delight, confusion, satisfaction. So instead of showing you spreadsheets of the behavioral data, they showed you the emotional journey. It was really fun. I was obsessed with those little characters, actually. And the roulette table plays into that Vegas for sure. I was actually surprised more people didn't do it. Honestly, it was kind of a gamble because if too many people did it, may have not been as exciting. But between the financial space and the gaming space, it played into risk and chance, which ties into the unpredictability people feel when they don't have the behavioral data that they need about their customers. The emoji faces on the carpet, that's not just cute, that's a visual representation of their entire value prop. We help you move from frustrated customers to delighted customers. Every design choice ties back to their message.
Number 5, mid-desk. All that's missing is the espresso martini. One word here, vibes. It was a vibe in there. They didn't build a booth, they built a boutique. Inspired by high-end clothing stores in New York City, this booth had the natural wood color, it was bougie, fancy chairs, it had the couches, high-end swag like sweatshirts, t-shirts, bags, and hats. It felt like you could browse, like you were shopping, not being sold to. And Middesk figured out something most B2B companies miss. The environment you create affects how people engage with you.
Yeah, a sterile meeting room booth, puts people in that mindset of meeting room. It kind of makes people nervous and, it just reminds you of your day-to-day. It's a defensive, closed, waiting to hear a pitch type of space. More of the store environment, it was like open frames as well, and the mirrors were actually there were no mirrors, it was people were on the other side, but I almost tried to fix my makeup. People were lingering, and when people linger, they talk, they ask questions, and their guard comes down. There were different nice seating areas, like when you're waiting for your partner to try clothing on. They ask
That's
you
me. That's me waiting.
Yeah, true. They ask you things, and yeah, I guess the only thing missing was that espresso martini bar. But this booth was about making people feel really comfortable, like they were invited to something exclusive, something fun, something that doesn't typically happen at a fintech conference. And that's how you stand out.
Number 4, JP Morgan. The juice might be worth the squeeze for biometric payments. They built an interactive demo around their new biometric payment system. But here's the best part. The demo was tied to something immediate and real, which was getting juice. People could scan their face to pay for juice in real time. They didn't actually have to pay, they were free, but just the show. They weren't watching a screen demo. They were experiencing the product, which most fintech marketing fails to do for their audience.
Yeah, and of course, JP Morgan may have some more money to set up their entire biometric payment system in real time with pressed juice. Okay, we get it. But it was still awesome. And fintech is often abstract, but they actually brought something. They brought that human element. I was really thirsty the whole time, and there was it was like coffee, water, and soda. So it was nice, the juice. And by making people actually use the biometric system to get something they wanted, JP Morgan accomplished 3 things.
So 1, they removed the friction. People wanted to try it. 2, they created a memorable moment. I paid for juice with my face is the story people tell. And 3, they showed elegance in execution. The whole experience felt sophisticated, not gimmicky. The juice bar looked amazing. It was polished, matching JP Morgan's brand. And the biometric system was made out to be fun and thirst quenching. That's how you communicate innovation. Make it accessible, make it fun, make it elegant.
And I think that the juice presseries of the world actually need to take a cue from this, because the setup was actually like totally innovative for how the future of juice companies should be presenting their stores. Like, it was all around great.
That's a possibility.
Number 3, Authentics. These headshots were as popular as the glamour shots in the 90s. What booth had people lining up around the corner the whole time? This one. The one that gave attendees something they could actually use and wanted. There was a line around the corner of this booth for people to get headshots and to engage.
Authentics had clear, compelling messaging and live demos. They had these bold, contrarian-like statements like, loving fraud is how we defeat it, obsessed with fraud so you don't have to be. And the headshot lounge was very straightforward, professional and fun headshots for attendees. But it made sense. It connected to their core business, document verification, identity verification. So headshots go on IDs, real photos to combat deepfakes. They offered immediate value.
Here's what most booths get wrong. They ask attendees to invest time with nothing guaranteed in return. Except maybe some socks, which we always love. Bring on the socks.
Yeah, swag is great.
Freaking awesome socks. But Authentics flipped that script. Visit our booth and you definitely get a professional headshot. Not just because it's nice to have, but because it's tied to their product, identity verification, and fraud prevention. They're literally showing you what they do while giving you something useful. When you lead with value, instead of let me tell you about us, people will show up. They bring their friends. They tell stories about your booth. These lines were long because attendees knew they'd get something useful. And they see Authentics product in action in a very natural way.
Number 2, pace. Dominique Wilkins ain't the only one, Duncan. What happens when you ditch the suits and throw on the jerseys? At Pace's booth, it turned corporate into community and strangers into fans. The whole team was wearing the Atlanta Hawks jerseys, and it wasn't a fashion choice. It was because Pace officially sponsors the Hawks, and their logo is on the jerseys. And here's what happened. That simple choice, wearing those Hawks jerseys, transformed the booth from corporate to joyful, fun, relatable, and inviting.
Yeah, totally. And Pace also had this circle of trust where they scheduled live panels and events. They used big fonts, clear messaging, and open space. Everything was designed to be inviting. Pace understood something powerful. People connect with people, not logos. By wearing the Hawks jerseys, the Pace team signaled something that goes way beyond fintech. They signal we're proud to be partners. We're a team, we're celebrated, and we care about what we do. We're not just corporate demos. That authenticity opens up doors and it makes people want to connect with you. Number 1, chargebacks 911. Roads, where we're going, we don't need roads. What do a DeLorean, Doc Brown, and a fintech company have in common? Great Scott, they actually solve problems. Number 1 is Chargeback with their Back to the Future themed booth. They had the DeLorean, not a DeLorean, the DeLorean, the clock, the lightning, and a doc who never broke character. It was uncanny. They had fun printed shirts.
Like this one?
Yeah, that one. And they understood that fintech doesn't have to be boring and corporate. It was really fun.
And everyone who walked by they stopped. They took photos. They wanted to engage with the booth, engage with Doc. The chargeback took a risk that most fintech companies won't take. They made their booth emotional before they made it logical. Back to the Future is a movie that makes people feel something. Nostalgia, joy, hoverboards, self-lacing Nikes, that sense of adventure, and they tied the futuristic theme to what they're doing at Chargeback.
And the reality is that this booth had a ton of foot traffic. It was so memorable. I couldn't talk to Doc enough. It was the most distinctly different from every other fintech booth at the conference. They understood that creativity has no limits, even in a very regulated and compliance-heavy industry. This is the booth that people will remember, not because of what Chargeback does operationally, but because of how they made people feel, and I also will remember what they actually do.
Here's the secret behind every booth that stood out. They didn't just show up. They didn't just hand out swag, and they didn't just pitch. They gave people a reason to remember. They didn't build booths, they built experiences. Seth Godin talks about the purple cow. The idea that in a world of ordinary brown cows, it's the purple cow that's remarkable. It's worth talking about. It's worth stopping for.
Attendees, they don't need more booths. They need something to talk about. More connection, more meaning, and a chance to break patterns and sameness. That's what makes you stand out.
So whether it's the Back to the Future DeLorean, a massage station, a shopping vibe, or a soda fountain, these weren't gimmicks. They were strategic choices designed to do one thing, make people feel something first. And then once their guard's down, they were actually willing and wanting to engage. These companies then backed it up with clear value, authentic execution, and real strategy.
If you're building a fintech company or planning your conference strategy, take notes. There were a lot of prime location, big budget booths that were forgettable. The booths that did stand out weren't necessarily the ones with the biggest budgets or the best real estate, although let's be fair, some did. They were the ones that became the purple cows, the ones people actually wanted to talk about, to go in and to talk to.
Thanks for watching. Comment down below. Do you agree with our top 10? Let us know what was your top booth experiences. And don't forget to like, subscribe for more fintech marketing insights. We're just getting started. We're going to be bringing on fintech CMOs, founders, and marketing specialists to drop all the gems to help you break through the noise so you can grow and scale your company.
See you soon.
See you soon.